poorest people in America are in the top 5%, the top 2% of wealth around the world. And so my whole belief is stop acting like you're a victim and start making better choices.
Not acting like a victim, bro. This is not a victim mentality.
No, it fundamentally is, because white people are not out to get you. There is nothing holding black people back.
Oh my God.
These conversations, and have the emphasis on that is have conversations. All right, let's have the conversations. All right, so let's get into this Charlie Kirk video. Where we gonna be? I'll chill over here in the corner and you guys give me your thoughts.
You know, black Americans are the richest black people on earth.
What's the
Africa?
Okay, I need you to pull that up like right now.
You can. Black Americans per capita on average.
Can you pull that up?
I'm hosting an event right now. I don't know what to tell you, but anyone can fact check me on this. So you cannot find a black majority country or any country where black people have significant representation where they are as wealthy, because even the poorest people in America are in the top 5%, the top 2% of wealth around the world. And so my whole belief is stop acting like you're a victim and start making better choices.
Not acting like a victim, bro. This is not a victim mentality.
No, it fundamentally is, because white people are not out to get you. There is nothing holding black people back. Let me say that again. There is nothing holding black people back. In fact, the opposite. You can get into colleges with lower test scores.
But
you could say things that white people can't say and not be fired for it. Black people are wildly disrepresentation.
People say that to me all the time, and they just walk around like it doesn't mean anything around here.
Say what? Say the what?
The N-word. I'm not going to say it on this public platform, but people say it to me all the time.
Derogatorily.
Yes.
No, I think you're lying.
Why would I be lying
So
about
you're
this?
trying to tell me at this campus, did you report it to student services?
I'm not. I have too much on my plate to worry about this.
So you're going to say at this campus you're going to indict the moral character of Texas A&M?
I'm not indicting the moral character.
Oh, yes,
of
you are.
A&M.
You're saying that.
I'm indicting the moral character of one person or a few people.
Oh, well, now it's one. So you heard it all the time, and now it's one. Got it. So
it's not okay. You're
but
taking me
this
out
is
of
the point:
context,
is that
but
I
okay.
don't believe you, because now you resort back to a race hoax to make it seem as if the white kids on this campus are like racist and terrible.
Kids.
Oh, so was it a black guy that said it to you?
I'm not.
It matters a lot, because this is how lies are able to grow. Jussie Smollett, we see this. You have to challenge them head on.
Do you think I'm lying when I say that people say the N-word around here? And
if I think a white person comes up to you derogatorily and says, shut up, N-word,
I'm not saying they said it.
I said, are they saying it derogatorily?
But that doesn't mean it's word for word like that.
But, okay, so then it's not an insult then. So then don't bring it up as if it's evidence of racism.
I wanted to play the entire video. And I really feel bad for the young man. I feel bad for the young man. And this shows.
Sorry to interrupt the video. We got a new challenge. 20,000 by the end of April. We fell short in March, but we're gonna get our goal this month. Thank you all in advance for those that are gonna continue to like, subscribe, maybe even leave some comments and let us know how we're doing. And on that note, let me let y'all get back to the video, and I'll see y'all soon.
So many different things that come to mind. I'm just gonna be totally honest and shoot as it's coming into my brain. We've raised our young men to be weak victims. We've raised our young women to be overly emotional, fearful, independent soldiers. And when I watch this video, I hope that the young man was embarrassed. I really do hope that the young man was embarrassed, because sometimes it takes us being embarrassed to wake up and realize, like, yo, this ain't it. You start talking about people calling you the N-word, and that's a whole nother conversation. It happens all the time. Nobody's running around here. I don't know of anybody that is getting called the N-word like that, especially, come on now, on a college campus. And then if it's such a significant problem, the young man responds and says, I have too much on my plate to report this. But you're using it in an argument. I if it's not enough evidence to look around and look at our current state of 25 to 45-year-old American men and women, and look at us not feeling like we're compatible to get married, women complaining about men, men complaining about women, our culture being completely upside down. We're following leaders that are leading us into the fire. You know, our culture is dominated by things that are either going to get us in trouble, get us locked up, get us killed, have us out here sexualizing ourselves while we complain about being sexualized. I'm talking about the women. If that's not evidence enough to see that, however this generation that we are in was raised, there were some significant issues that keep us in this victim mentality that we've bought into that does not benefit us. It simply does not benefit us. This entire video, it's just, and the reason why I'm glad that this hopefully has embarrassed this young man at this age, because when you talk to a 40-year-old black man, 50-year-old black man, 60-year-old black man, 70-year-old black man, a lot of times it's the same thing, maybe just voicing it in a different way. A lot of times it's the same. Let's say that some of these things are true. Let's say that the America is not totally fair. America is not going to be fair to everybody. It's not going to be equal for everybody. It's just not. There's nowhere you can go on earth. There's not, you don't not work at your job. You don't not hold your tongue at work when you want to curse your boss out because things aren't equal. Things aren't fair. There's just us having that standard of things being fair and equal everywhere we go. It's just a not realistic standard. It's a non-realistic standard. And if that's the standard that we're going to set and we're crashing out over anything that doesn't adhere to that standard, then we're going to be in we're going to always put ourselves in a position to embrace victimhood rather than embrace winning. These are just my opinions on it. Let me catch up with some of the chats. My fault. Before I go on a tangent. Shout out to Unc in the building. Good morning. It's all the game, really, when you stop and think about it, because racism is something that white people are quite aware of, but they play as though it's not something that's important. Unc, it's not important. It's not important. What is racism? What is racism? It's not important. It's as important as you allow it to be. We've seen how for the last 60, 70, 80 years, how important it was and where that got us. The more important we as black people say racism is, the worse we do. Think about that. The higher the pedestal we put on racism, the worse we do. What is racism? If you get a job, you're going to hire people close to you, right? If you get put on, you're going to put on Ski, you're going to put on me, you're going to put on people that you tend to be around, that tend to look like you, right? And if they're doing the same thing, then that gives us the opportunity to create something of our own. Like, come on, nah, I'm not going for it. Uncle wrote, you don't have Chinese people calling each other chink. You don't have East Indian people calling each other coolie, but you do have brothers and sisters that would allow Joe, or I don't want to put words in, that would Joe currently use the N-word, not even. I'm not sure that last one. Shout out to G in the building. Unc wrote, I blame my generation for misleading your generation for all those mistakes. I really do, brother. And as it is almost 60 years old, I apologize to all its brainwashing. Unc, I appreciate that. But let me ask you this, and this is why I responded to the racism comment that you wrote. If you're going to apologize for pushing all this victimhood on us. Apologize for convincing us that we need to worry about fighting racism and fighting all these other things rather than just winning. If the generation before us is going to apologize for putting us in a position where we think that we can't do something just because the world is against us and things are holding us back. So now we grow up with this mindset to where we can't do as much because America's holding us back. And then we also have that partnered with the entitlement that a lot of us are raised with. So now we have victimhood and entitlement. And when you combine those two, now who are we attracted to? We're attracted to people like the Democratic Party and the liberals, and we put our kids, us, in a position to now where we feel like we have to pledge our allegiance to a particular group called the Democrats or the liberals, or else we can't survive, or else we can't thrive in this country. If you're gonna, and this is not just to you, but if the generation before us is going to apologize for teaching our girls that they're perfect just the way that they are. Apologize for the fathers raising their daughters to be women that they wouldn't even want to date as they're adults. Apologize for the mothers raising their boys to be the very deadbeat kids, the deadbeat boys that they now complain about when they run around talking about niggas ain't shit. If that's what we're going to apologize, let's apologize for that. And let's also, no, not saying you, Unc, but you're the opposite of this. But to a lot of y'all other old heads, let's also apologize as you're moving out the way and allowing some of these young voices in here that are not embracing this victimhood, that don't care about that entitlement, that are perfectly fine for going out and getting it regardless of it not being fair. Let's actually use your platform to put them on a platform. Rather than me turning on the TV or having conversations, seeing 60 and 70-year-olds still singing "We Shall Overcome" and embracing this 60s civil rights mindset. We don't want to hear that shit. It's not working. Think about it. You're singing the same Negro spirituals that you were singing when you were 30 and 20. It ain't working. Let me keep going. Jokingly say the N-word. I've had white people use that word at me. I've also had Cubans tell me that I was a field hand instead of an employee. What does that mean exactly? Yo, I don't care, bro. I'm keeping it real. I don't have white people just call me the N-word. I don't have all these people call me the N-word. I do hear Spanish people using it. I don't care. And if I do care, then I address it directly to them. For years, I've said that to myself, that minority races should have their own party, but that leads to separation of state and party, which may not work. I don't even think that minorities should have their own party. As soon as you create any type of division based amongst race, then literally you're going to set your society up or your environment up to have racism. If we go outside and we play basketball, we're at the park and we're dividing up the teams based on, we got the black team, the white team, the Indian team, and then we got the Chinese team. As soon as we divide it up by race, racism, because who is the black person more likely to root for? Who is the Chinese person more likely to root for? Who's the white person more likely to root for? As soon as we categorize, as soon as we put these stamps of black this, black that, white this, white that, as soon as we start doing that, it's already over. And if that's the society that we want to live in, then let's just be cool with racism. If we want to divide based on race, then let's just embrace, we got a racist society. Let's compete. We understand that we live in America, right? So if you want to divide on race and we want to embrace a racist society and we're living in America, which was never run by black people, then we just got to accept, hey, we embracing this racism concept, this racist society. That's how we moving around. And we're in a country where obviously the people in power are going to do, if they're embracing the same racism that we're embracing, then that means they're going to do for theirs and we got to do for ours. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I get your point, and I'm completely with you. However, in a generational difference in the 60s, we moved away from certain things, and in the 80s, it became cool again. This is where we have problems. I get it. I get it. The idea of today's life in America is completely different than it was in the 60s. I'm having technical difficulties, but it's not so much that we are not willing to be better. It is the fact that how we teach the youth, women today have sexualized themselves in an atrocious way, and I blame the generation that I'm living in for that. I agree, Unc. It truly is not working, and this is the reason why we need to teach ourselves better. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Let's move on before I blow a casket on this one particular issue. Let's move on. What's the next topic that we're going to get to? But yeah, that's just, it just bothers me. I'll be totally honest, like all the victimhood, it just bothers me. And it bothers me because imagine having a child or having a person that has so much potential, but they place ceilings over themselves because of what the previous generation says to them. Matter of fact, there's an example of mosquitoes. I just heard this example of mosquitoes where they kept mosquitoes in a jar. I think it was mosquitoes. And I may be saying the story wrong, but just bear with me. They kept mosquitoes in a jar. And for generations upon generations, the mosquitoes, generations upon generations, I don't know how long the life of a mosquito, but they kept the mosquito in a jar with the top sealed, so the mosquitoes could not fly out of the jar. They then eventually took the top of the jar off. They took the lid off the jar. And the mosquitoes that were born, the new mosquitoes, the new generation mosquitoes, they would not fly above where that lid used to be. Those are the ceilings that we place on our next generations. That is generational trauma. Us convincing our kids that they're victims, us convincing our kids that they're entitled to something because great granddaddy was done wrong, or great granddaddy was done wrong in Jim Crow. No. Teach that kid to thrive. Teach that kid that no matter what the history is, how fortunate you are to be living in this country where you can go from one generation piss poor to the next generation winning on top of the world in no time. Think about that. What other country can you just flip the switch like that from one generation to another? What other country can you live in where my grandparents were sharecroppers and then my dad becomes an attorney? But instead we want to teach our kids that, oh, there's these evil white Republicans, they're against you. These evil white conservatives, these rednecks. Come on, man. We got to do better. We got to do better for the sake of our kids. For the sake of our kids. All right, let me make sure I keep it. Unc wrote, the true problem with society is not the problem of racism. It's a problem of educating oneself to be above it. I agree. And we do have a racist society, and generally we are trying to compete, even if the scales are tipped against us. I disagree, Unc, with the second part. I don't see us trying to compete. I don't. Just me. I don't see us trying to compete. Matter of fact, there was a post that we just put up maybe a couple weeks ago where the guy was literally saying, like, listen, if you grow up in society right now, Gary Vee always talks about this. If you just do bare minimum, if you just do the work, if you just are consistent, you will do better than the majority of people. Like, you will be in that top percentile simply by just doing the bare minimum, or just doing like, oh, it says to do this. If you just do it. That's what the standards are so low right now. The entitlement is so high right now. People are not working. People aren't working hard. Like, who's working hard out here? Who is, especially after the pandemic? This is the most entitled, lazy generation of people maybe ever right now. No, who's working? Now I think it's just starting to flow. I can't even say. I think the young kids are, I don't know as much about, like, I'm thinking about the kids between 18 and 24. I think they're a lot more entrepreneurial. But I think our generation was taught that we're not working hard. We're not trying to win out here. Come on. Good morning, good people. Shout out to Ant in the building. Damn, I walked into some heat. Nah, no heat. No heat. Just combos. So Dak, when you say trying to compete, I wonder if you see competing as actually putting forth true effort to win versus existing in a system that is not for us. To you, that is not competing. How is this system not for me? This shit is easy out here. What are y'all talking about? How is this system not easy? I mean, how is this system not for us? Why do we think that? Why, like, all right, this system's not for us. Let me ask y'all this question. Do y'all know of a system around the world that is for us? Because I don't know of another place that you can go and black people thrive as much as we thrive in America, where we set the tone on culture. Like this is just so good, where they have DEI, where you can get into college with lower scores than you can get into the best school in the world, perhaps Harvard, right? You can get into some of the best schools in the world with a lower test score than the Asians and the white kids. And this system ain't for us? What are we talking about? No. When I say us, I don't mean people like you and I. Let's break it down. Ant, what do you mean by people like you and I? What's the difference? People like you and I? You mean people that had they had two parents in the household? Like what do we mean? If that's the case, if that's all it takes, then hey, it seems like the system is for us, but we're just choosing to not do what works in the system. Like, come on. Oh my God. Ant, think about this, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Like, the American system isn't for us? Damn. This is why black people need to be very careful about all y'all black people that got finessed into voting Democrat when they wanted to bring all these illegal migrants in here. Y'all hustling backwards because we are not built to compete with the illegal migrants that come here. Here you are saying, oh, let's open the door for all of them. Let them come on in. And not even realizing that illegal migrants coming in here are going to help the elites. They're going to help, right? We look at the conservatives as, oh, those are the elites, right? Those are the people with money. They don't care about us common folk. Those illegal migrants are going to come here and do more for less. They're going to give more effort, be more appreciative of the positions that they have, be more appreciative of the opportunities that they have, and do it for half what black people are willing to do it for, what Americans in general are willing to do it for. Come on, bro. We got to stop this. I mean, people that would thrive no matter where we are placed on earth. And if we can't thrive in America, think about this. If we can't thrive in America, where else will we thrive? If we can't thrive in America, where else can we thrive? And if there is a place out there, let me know. I'll explore it. I'll look into it. We got everybody coming here to take advantage of the opportunities here, but we can't even appreciate the fact that we're living here. It's like the grass being greener on the other side. We can't appreciate where we're at. A lot of people end up throwing away good relationships for that. Look at Michelle Obama. It's like she forgets that she's worth $70 million. It's like she forgets that she's worth $70 million and then wants to jump out the window talking about black women don't have a voice. What are you talking about? This is the victimhood mentality. This is what constantly puts us in positions to where we can't appreciate the opportunity that we have. So therefore, other people who do appreciate those opportunities are going to outcompete us every time. Unc wrote, you're very right. I have a large family and I look at some of my brothers and sisters. All my sisters are doing well. A couple of my brothers are doing well. But then I also have a couple that, bought into that if they raise their kids to be average American still live an average life. I don't want average. I want above average. I'm with you. I want above average. A lot of people that feel as though it is not for the masses of color are people that have to depend on government being what they consider fair and just. Yo, you can literally get by in America with government assistance. Like, where else is this? Like, matter of fact, to the point where we feel like that's your right. If I don't feel like working, it's my right to have everybody else use their tax dollars to pay for me to have housing assistance, welfare, whatever else to support my kids. Come on, we got to stop this, yo. We got to stop this. I do believe that we are trying to do better and compete. This is the whole idea of rap music uplifting of a people. It's no longer about that. Now it's the B word and women are just disrespecting. So, based on, look at the sentence that you wrote. The sentence that you wrote is kind of like, it's contradicting in itself. In the first part of the sentence, you write, I do believe that we are trying to do better and compete. But then you write, rap music was supposed to be uplifting to people, and now it's no longer about that. It's the B word, and women are just being disrespected. So how are we're going backwards. We're going backwards. By the way, I'm not arguing with you. Americans that are dependent on the government would not make it in a lot of other countries. No, Ant. No. Americans that are dependent on the government would not make it in any other country. Not look at Michelle Obama laughing my ass off. Accurate but wild. Straight. Nah, because we're going to talk about Michelle. We're going to talk about Michelle. I believe on some points, many of people that do not have the ability that me and you had coming up. Oh, my God. Yo, why is the bare minimum? Listen to what you just wrote. I do believe on some points, many of people that do not have the ability that me and you had coming up. What ability? What ability? Why do we act as if there's a secret potion for this stuff? Have some kids, have a 2-parent household, teach them some good values. This is not a secret. We look at the bare minimum as, well, not everybody has that. It's like not everybody has the bare minimum. Like, these are just decisions. It's not about what people have and do not have. It's about the decisions that people make to put their kids and them in a better position to succeed in life. It's decisions. It's about us choosing our vices over the things that are going to help elevate us. These are just decisions. We can no longer look at ignorance or being naive or any of these things as valid excuses for us not being successful. Look at the stats. The numbers are clear. We are the most informed generation ever now. And we can't look at it. We see, this is what I meant earlier when I say a lot of times the truth is right in front of us. It's very clear, but we like to fog it up just so we can avoid the truth, because then we can avoid the accountability that comes with it. The truth is that kids that are raised in 2-parent households, and I got to double check this stat, whether you're black or white, when you're raised in a 2-parent household, the outcomes are pretty successful. It's not, there's like, I don't get this, man. I don't get it, man. My grandparents distilled in me that no one was putting a foot on my neck other than myself. That's a fact. A perfect example of what you're saying right now would be the Puerto Rican chick that got into, I believe it was Connecticut University, and couldn't read. That's wild. I didn't even know about that. Right, but my question was asking if you considered getting by truly competing. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that we're not competing. I'm saying that we're not competing. Like us saying that if you're at the park and you're just on the team and you're just running up and down the court and kind of lackadaisical, not really taking the game seriously, but you're there. Are you competing? No, you're just there. You're just taking up space. They just needed a 5th player to play. You're not competing. Is the story right now about many of Trump employees that work at Trump's golf course in New York and New Jersey that will illegal migrants, none of them are black. They're not being lined up to be deported. I'm not as familiar with that. The ability to manifest comes across as a secret because it's not part of an education. Yes, and I mean, yeah, yeah. Which is, and this goes back to the education. What do you mean it's not part of education? That's another thing that we do that's super lazy. We think that education only comes from the school system. You know how kids learn to manifest, perhaps? Maybe they see their parents doing it. You know how a kid may learn to meditate? Maybe you see your parents doing it. The thing, and this is another thing, when you have a 2-parent household and one of the parents doesn't have to work 24/7 and then hire somebody else to raise your kids, then you can control a lot of their upbringing, which should be a lot of their education. You sit down at the dinner table maybe every night and you talk about different things. That perhaps is more important than any education that they're going to learn in school. We rely on the school system, the same schools. And this is the thing. We say that the schools, America's racist. Why would you allow a country that we perceive as racist? Why would you allow the school system that they provide to us to 100% educate your kids? And I'm not saying you do it, Ant, but I'm responding to the comment that you just made. And that same people that you're discussing, they're second and third generation people, will be just as lazy as the people you're talking about now. I agree. Shout out to Shy Boogie in the building. What's up, Shy? It's good to see you. I mean, in the household. Oh yeah, I'm handing down all my tools. I know you are. Yeah, this is true about rap music in the early days. Do you think of KRS-One, and then today you think about some of the rappers that we have like Cardi B? It's a fact. It's a fact. We got finessed. We got finessed and we allowed ourselves to be finessed. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So speaking of, now we're going to segue right into it. We're going to segue right into it. Speaking of all this victim stuff, I'm not saying that Ant and Unc are going to agree with this, but just keeping along the lines of this conversation.
It's Dak. Just want to thank you for checking out our video and visiting the OG Network. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure that you give us a like. And if you're looking to join a community of inspired individuals striving for purposeful abundance, subscribe. And if you're feeling real generous, share the video with some friends and family. All right, I'll see y'all soon. Ew.